Good morning, stupid. Welcome back to hashtag 360 stupid. We are stupid people asking you smart people simple questions. King of stupid here. That's me. Mike Check. That's my name. MICCCZECH as in the Republic. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? All other genders, fenders, benders. I am Mike Check. This is hashtag 360 stupid. We are an informational podcast. We just like to put it out there. And we want to start out by saying Happy Labor Day. I didn't do any research on what Labor Day is all about. I'm assuming about labor, since most of the laborers are off today. Good, nice long weekend. I hope everyone's enjoying themselves. Be safe. Have fun. Do what you think is right and enjoy the ride. So, let me give you my gratitude for listening in. My downloads are at 9,401. Whoo-wee! 9,401. Damn. Thank you, every single one of you. Special thanks to my number one fan. What up, girl? Hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's enjoying their nice long weekend. And it's happening. It's happening. We're making it happen. This month kind of feels like a good transitional month, I want to say. The energies, the vibes, what's going on, feels like it's starting, you know? The whole thing with the virus thing, which I can't talk about because I get banned. Imagine that. There's a global pandemic and I'm not allowed to talk about it because then I will get banned from YouTube. So thank you, YouTube, for reinstating my privilege to utilize your platform. I've said this before and I'll say it again just so it's very clear. I don't want to be agitating anybody, certainly not big wiggies like the El Google, Facebooky, Alphabet. So I'm gonna keep it nice and soft and polite as I can. It still gets me banned sometimes, so we'll see what happens. Podcasting, yo, podcasting. That's what I do. Labor Day weekend. I want to say this just so I can say it because I think it needs to be heard. A friend of mine got into a very minor automobile collision, vehicle versus vehicle. Her front end made contact with another vehicle's rear end. Very, very minor damage. The airbags did pop on her. And I think that's more of just a extra precaution from the vehicle manufacturer and, of course, to generate revenue because those airbags are expensive. Woo! So here's the thing. She believed that her vehicle was no longer mobile. Like she believed that once your airbags pop, the vehicle just will not move anymore. That's not true, and particularly in her vehicle's case. So her van was sitting on the far right turn lane, and law enforcement was there for traffic. She called me, panicked, scared, not from the law enforcement, just from the accident, the collision, very minor. And the lower airbag, the one that stops your legs from braking, caused her some injury. She thought it was a fracture. It was obvious to me it wasn't a fracture, but of course, I didn't want to be like, that ain't no fracture. So I took her to the urgent care yesterday. They took x-rays and said it's just a sprain. And so she felt much, much, much better. But here's the thing. Law enforcement was there to direct traffic. And because there was an injury, I think, or because they were called, they investigated, asked her some questions. And I told her before I arrived on the phone, don't say anything to anyone. But I didn't want to make it like, you're going to get in trouble, because she was already panicking, like literally crying, panicking. And so when the officer asked her questions, it was obvious. It was a setup. See, what are we in, September? The last month or so, until New Year's, citations, particularly traffic citations, is what generates revenue for Christmas bonuses. That's right. Christmas bonus. For law enforcement to get their Christmas bonus, they have to put out lots of citations. Some get dumped, some of them, anyways, the majority of them get processed. It takes a good 3 months for the finances to get to the agencies that cited them. So let's think about that for a minute. You and I, as good citizens as we are, pay our taxes. Well, everybody pays taxes, actually. Those taxes go for services that we all want, including law enforcement. But then, for law enforcement to get a bonus on Christmas, they have to put out more citations. So in essence, we who are paying law enforcement is then cited out so that they can get their bonuses. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? But to give someone who has just been in a collision, very minor, no one's hurt, and she was actually hurt. The other people, nobody else but her was harmed, had injuries. Ambulance came out, they wrapped her leg and everything. So they give her a citation for not controlling her speed. Ain't that crazy? Now, she was at a stop and she tried to move up just a bit, ended up catching her shoe on the accelerator, which caused the collision, which is why also her foot got injured, because her foot was caught in the shoe when the airbags deployed and caused the sprain. Ain't that something? You get in an accident and you think, oh, great, law enforcement is here, help me, right? Yeah, they certainly did help. They directed traffic away and gave her a citation. Yeah, ain't that something? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, I was asking her, she votes. I don't understand why people vote. So I like to ask people who vote simple questions. I'm not for or against any group or party. Of course, I worship Donald Jesus Trump. Please don't deport me. He is our God and Savior and our Lord. And he can do whatever he wants to anybody at any time. And I, of course, am not what's called a true American, which means my birthplace is not America. What this means is anybody not born in this country, America, can get deported, irregardless of your citizenship status. So if you're a naturalized citizen, which is what I am, which means you born somewhere else, came here, processed legitimately, and became a citizen, can still get deported. Now, I have military service. As a matter of fact, I'm a disabled American military veteran, war veteran, as a matter of fact. I volunteered in the U.S. Army to become, and I did, a combat medic. Oh, U.S. Army, baby! And I was in a unit that does not get deployed. They are a training unit. I was a leg. A leg is somebody in an airborne unit that is not qualified to jump. So, needless to say, not too many people like me, simply for that fact. However, I was a medic, so most soldiers are fairly intelligent enough to understand you don't want to mess with the medic, because everybody at some point will come to the medic, be it for your shots, be it for your pains, or be it for something severe. So another unit on base was prepping to deploy to Iraq. That's right, Iraqi. Now, I wanted out of the unit that was a training unit, and primarily because my goal was to be a medic, to further my education and become a nurse, and more importantly, I wanted to learn and experience real world medical training experience. So the unit that was deploying, I knew there was going to be somebody that wanted out or had to get out. You know, so, say a lady's pregnant, a combat medic who's a lady, female, gets pregnant, they can't deploy her. Simple things like that. Not necessarily people trying to get out of it, but for legitimate reasons. So I was already quite familiar with the Command Sergeant Major. Oh. Yeah. And so, you know, I knew that base on base, unit to unit transfer is something that the Command Sergeant Major can approve if the other unit's willing to accept. And of course, the other unit was absolutely more than happy to accept because they were short. And so I literally was in a unit that would not get deployed, and I asked to be transferred to a unit that is 100%. I mean, they were already packed. I mean, the process of them deploying was already done. Logistics done, packing done, everything shipped. So they were gonna deploy. It was just a matter of everybody preparing and actually getting on the planes. So I said to my Command Sergeant Major, I said, Sergeant Major, I would ask for you to transfer me onto that unit so I can deploy to Iraq. Now, I was born in Iraq. That's right. Now, I'm not Iraqi and I'm not Arabic. Arabic is the people of that region. Iraqi, of course, is the people of that country. Now, I was born there, but my family, my blood, my culture is Armenian. We fled to Iraq 3 generations ago. Come on. Because of the Turkish genocide against the Armenian people. Many Armenians went all different types of directions. Obviously, my family ended up in Iraq, and so on and so forth. So I'm not 100% sure if my command sergeant major knew I was born there, but what he did say was, "You telling me, private?" And I was a private, of course, because I was fat and I did not get my promotions. I passed all my PT tests. I even passed the weight requirements. But, you know, I happen to fall under a really shitty sergeant. Squad sergeant is the person that has 150,000% control over the lives of privates. Now, I joined when I was 28 years old. So I literally had 10 years on the majority of the privates that just joined. So he went well out of his way to make my experience a really horrible experience, which was great because then I wanted to get out of there, which ended up getting me the deployment. Where was I going with this? Well, I guess we'll just put this down under war stories. Oh, the basic thing was, my command sergeant major was like, "Are you serious? You want me to grant you a request to transfer units to go into a unit that is going to deploy, whereas we will never deploy?" I said, "That's correct, Sergeant Major. Oh, I'd like to request the transfer into a unit that is getting deployed from a unit that will never get deployed." Oh. He goes, "Damn. Private, you hate my unit that much. You'd rather go to war?" I said, "Well, I don't really want to see it that way, but I'd rather go to war." And that was that. Sometime later, the transfer was done, and I was sent over, got my deployment gear, and off I went to my birth country as the enemy combatant from my adopted country. Oh, I remember why I brought this up. So, because I was not born in America, I am not a true American, meaning America does not recognize me as one of their own. They see me as an adopted child. Now, I hope to foster and adopt children, and I've thought about this a lot. Still kind of thinking about it. If I adopt a child that is not maybe the greatest child, and believe me, these foster children go through horrible, horrible stuff. So you can't even expect them to be, you know, I mean, I've had a fairly bad childhood, but not one essence of the difficulties that these foster children have, especially the older ones. Let me just say, there are sick damn people in this world who do horrible, ugly, dirty things to children, especially foster children, because foster children just, they don't have options. They don't have choices. They're just considered property of the state. They get transferred and moved and whatever. So, if I was to adopt a child, and this child did something inappropriate, bad, or harmful, even towards me, would I say, hey, you messed up, I'm sending you back? I wouldn't. I hope I wouldn't, I don't know. That's hell of a dilemma, you know? Of course, it would depend on what they do, but if we are adopting a child, you know what? Let's take child out of it. If we adopt another life into our families, it's not okay to say, hey, you know what? You gone and done something bad and I'm done with you. You're not anymore of my family. You've never really been a part of my family. Can you imagine saying that to a child? That's what this country, my country, USA, ho, 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 says to me and every other naturalized American citizen. And I'm a war veteran for America. Imagine that. So, voting all ties back into our servants. Doesn't make sense to me because our servants have more than we do that we pay for them. We, all people, and I say all people because everybody in the entire planet utilizes the US dollar. And if you touch or move or spend any of the American currency, you will tax. You will be taxed. Taxes will be collected. Taxes are included. And so that's that. So you, me, and every other American and every other human in this entire planet pays taxes to people who are intended to serve us. But the catch is, we provide more for them than we have for ourselves. That's crazy. Mr. Brownie, he just likes to do his own thing. Go get some water. Go get some water, boys. There's a little Creeko. Go get some water. Go on. Go get some water. Good boys. Here goes my Mr. Black. So, what am I saying? I'm saying, does that make sense to you? Does that make sense that you, the hardworking people generating revenue, is paying for our servants to have chauffeurs, special security, special vehicles, even homes? Why is oh, my boy, you got your paws all dirty. Good boys. Good boys. Like the governor's mansion. Everyone pays for the governor to have and live in a mansion with his family? What? And everybody in his family has healthcare that you and I pay for. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? I can't afford a mansion yet. Yet. Can you? Can you afford a mansion? Well, obviously you can, because we are paying for multiple mansions for multiple levels of our government leaders, including private jets and blah, 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 bing, bing, bang, bang, bang. Most people can't afford to fly, let alone have a mansion. See, what I'm thinking is our servants, government leaders, any and all government staff and their entire family must live in public housing. That's right. That makes sense, right? Public housing. We are paying for that housing. They should live in it. At the lowest level, the worst areas of town. Why? Well, so they can know what is actually happening, because they are so disconnected from the reality of who we, the people, actually are. Poor as bing bing, and working our bing bing off. And still have hardly anything. We are literally just surviving. Literally. Whereas they're living a life of luxury that you and I pay for. What? They, meaning the entire family of our government leaders, must and only travel by public transit. And here's the kitschy catcher. In no way in any part of their family, including them, can eat anything outside of what the food stamp services pay for. Meaning they only get the salary of what an American or any American gets from the food stamp. Then, my good American fellow peoples, actually all my people around the world, I got 13 countries listening in. Man, I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. Then you'll see healthy, positive, good changes for the masses, for the poor, for the hungry, for the workers, for you, for me. Because right now, they only care and protect the elite, the supreme elite, the money. Because they must get donations to even run for office. Isn't that stupid? How stupid is that? Hey, who can afford? First of all, 40% of our income is taken from us for them. And on top of that, they want us to donate to them. And they need, this is a need, this is an absolute requirement. They must have a certain amount of donations. Isn't that stupid? How stupid is that? Hey, here's 40% of my income that I work and slave for. And now you want more money? Don't you live in a mansion that I pay for? Don't you have healthcare that I pay for? And now I gotta donate to you so that you can lie to me and get the job. And then when you get the job, you're supposed to be honest and care for me? No. Isn't that confusing? That's confusing, ain't it? Hey, to get the job, you have to lie, cheat, and steal and care for yourself and only for yourself. But when you get the job, then you have to be honest, caring, giving, selfless, and care for me. Oh, my good people. What is going on? All right. I am Mike Check, MICCCZECH, King of Stupid here at hashtag 360 Stupid, signing off. Thank you for the privilege of your time. Good night, stupid.